What's up guys, it's Tony G23 here, back for round 3 of our F1 2014 modded career mode. Alonso's still looking as smug as ever. So, today it's the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we're going to go straight into the race, just deciding on our race strategy. We're going to go prime option as we are normally going to do in this series. So, I'm just gonna quickly show you the setup. So aero aero, brakes, balance. I need to do those. I haven't done those. Whoops. We're running a different setup on the suspension, because I normally go 1-1 on the ride height. But apparently, if you do 2-1, you actually get a bit better straight line speed. And in this McLaren, we're looking for straight line speed all the time. So we're going to be running with that setup, and now we're going to go to track. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, stop the video here and go and watch that before you watch this. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Okay, so we're just leaving the garage, and I have high hopes for this race. Still looking for our first win, which in a McLaren for this season is going to be quite hard to come by, I reckon. And here is the grid. Before anyone asks, I know Vettel has Alonso's helmet, and I know Alonso has Magnussen's helmet. I'm working on that. I am failing on working on that quite spectacularly. But once again, we are starting last, as we will be for every race in this series. We're building up to 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix under the floodlights, and we get another terrible start. I mean, we're being beaten by Manacars into the first corner, and to be honest, I really don't know how that's happening. But we're going to dive up, but we've dived up the inside. Someone's lost their front wing end plate. We're going to go around the outside of Maldonado here. Our teammate just to the left of us. We don't want to crash into him. Felipe Nasr ahead of us. Maldonado behind us. We're going to dive down on the inside to turn 4, I think. This turn 3. Turn 3 or 4, I'm not sure. It depends how you count the first section of corners. But we get a really good drive off that. And coming into Kvyat, brake checks us, and we lose our front wing. I mean, even a slight tap, we lose our front wing. That's how sensitive the realistic damage mod is. We were lucky not to total our car into the back of Kvyat, and we're just trying to go around the outside of him. We've done that just with no front wing. So how do you feel now, Kvyat? How do you feel now? You've just been done round the outside by a McLaren with no front wing. You may as well just go and retire now. Retire from the sport. But we're going to go on to primes again, because we've only been on this tyre for, what, half a lap or something. But we go wide. Kvyat comes into the back of us, and we've got a rear puncture as well. And I think that was Alonso going into the back of us. We're going to look on the replay here. Kvyat passed, and it was Alonso. That's not really helping. That's not really helped our race, and it's not helped him as well. And the race has been stopped. Red flag situation. The race has been stopped, involving cars 14, 13 and 9. That's Alonso, Maldonado, and I think Nasr. I think it's Nasr who got involved in that crash. It was either Nasr or Ericsson. But on the grid, no, I think it was Ericsson, because Nasr's behind us in 14th. But away we go again for the second time. It's still saying we need to come to the pits, but we don't. So I don't know what's going on there, but we're going to ignore that. We lose positions on the start. We're going to dive it down the inside again, up to 10th place. We've gone down to 11th, back up to 9th. This goes up and down more than a yo-yo. My positions go up and down more than a yo-yo. So that was an interesting start to the race. There's Verstappen going very slowly into turn 4. So we're up to 5th. We're going to keep it in lean mix, try and save a bit of fuel for later on in the race, because I normally save fuel on the prime tyres, which are the slower. I know that sounds weird, but we are going to keep pushing as we take Felipe Massa for 4th place there. and I'm going to try and capitalise while all the cars are still together. And when I'm trying to do that, we take Vettel down the inside, and Nico Rosberg is just there. So, like I said, trying to take advantage while all these cars are close together could mean easy positions if I make some daring moves down the inside. And nearly, what was that curb doing? That just nearly spun us out. So auto spin curbs. So Rosberg, we're all over the back of him. We're going to try and use the slipstream on this straight, and we're really using it to our advantage here. Rosberg harvesting his ERS there with the rear lights on the car flashing. We're down the inside for second place, but we're late on putting the power down. Rosberg's just behind us, but only just. He's 0.1 of a second, so he's going to duck into our slipstream. We're going to try and force him round the outside. We're going to defend the inside line, and Rosberg actually brakes quite early for that corner. So yeah, it's been a good sort of start for us. I mean, despite what really happened at the start, I think our teammates out of the race, so I think we may need to have a little talk later on. I don't know, it's going to be heated discussions in the team tonight. I mean, who took off who? I mean, did I get in Alonso's way? Did he crash into me? We're going to have a heated discussion tonight back at Team HQ. So we're just trying to chase down Hamilton. Alright, that pep talk can wait. So we're going to try and chase down Hamilton. We're in second place. This, I think, is the highest. No, it's not the highest. We led for a bit I think we led for a bit in Malaysia, but that didn't. But yes, we're currently second. We did lead in Malaysia, but spoiler alert, we didn't win. So chasing after Hamilton, we're using the slipstream again. Can we pull the same move as we did on Nico Rosberg? We are very good on the brakes, which is strange for this McLaren. And it's not DRS, which is a bit of a shame, but we're still trying to use the slipstream. DRS conditions are now enabled. We're still trying to use the slipstream on Hamilton, and providing we're very late on the brakes, this is a dive bomb. We set a purple lap, so fastest lap of the race, but we weren't able to get past Hamilton. So I don't know, will we have an actual battle like Bahrain 2014? And here we go, turn 4. We're really up his gearbox, to be honest. We're still trying to chase down after him. It's 0.4 of a second still, so the gap hasn't really changed. And providing we're going to do a dive bomb here, and the door, Hamilton was closing that door. He is not going to let us through without a fight. So we're going to try and take him down into this next corner. We are. Another dive bomb. He left the door open, and we just get past him, and we've got DRS, so we will take the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. But Hamilton is still right behind us. We're going to make him go around the outside, defend our position and the inside line. That has worked. So Hamilton is still there, though. I mean, this is a guy who will not back down easily, and I'm expecting a fight. So my team's still telling me to come into the pits. Just leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Jeez. So I think we may have gapped Hamilton a little bit. We can still see him in our rear view mirrors, but we're just trying to pull out the gap and hopefully pull out a big enough gap to us for a pit stop, like a pit stops advantage. But we're coasting on to lap 4 now. We've been going purple, so that just gives you an idea of how much we're pushing on these tyres. And providing we get the final sector right, we are going to set a new fastest lap for the race. And we do, a 1:38.874. We've got the gap back to Hamilton to 2.5 seconds, so he's out of DRS range. And there's confirmation, fastest lap. We lock up into the first corner, so we're going to cut on to lap 7. We've gone faster again, a 1:38.826. So that's marginally faster than what we did before. We've got the gap out to 5.3 seconds to Hamilton, and it's a further 4.7 back to Nico Rosberg, and then a whopping 7 seconds back to Vettel. So, and we've got 3 laps of fuel on board, so we've been fuel saving like mad as well. So lifting and coasting into the corners, trying to save fuel here and there, like we will be doing on these tyres, on the prime tyres. And hopefully there's the amount of wear that's on them. That's actually not that bad for the tyre, so that's really not bad at all. So we're down to, amazing, we're down to 14 runners in the Grand Prix. So I'm thinking the realistic damage, is it a too high a setting? Because of all these DNFs we're getting, I'm not really sure. But Rosberg and Raikkonen are currently in 2nd and 3rd place. That's because Hamilton and Vettel are making their pit stops. We will be coming in on lap 8. Technically we can come in whenever we want, because unfortunately our teammate is out of the race with that contact he made with me. So I don't think I was to blame for that contact. I mean, Alonso should have known, had no front wing. I mean, the team should have told him that, and he should have been a little cautious when he was going round me. So we're going to switch it up into rich mix now, try and really open up the taps for this lap, trying to get as big a gap as we can on Rosberg, who is now making his pit stop. Hamilton has gone back up to 2nd, but we will be coming in at the end of this lap, and we go off the track slightly. I mean, my wheel was playing up, but we were lucky not to lose our front wing on that brake board, because with the realistic damage you can lose your front wing even on those polystyrene boards. That's how sensitive the damage mod is. But we are coming in for hopefully our only stop of the race. We're changing onto the option tyres, and it's a 3.8 second stop from the McLaren boys, so that's actually not a bad time at all. So we are exiting the pit lane. We are still in the lead of this race, which is a very good news for us, which means we can go for victory today, hopefully our first win for McLaren. But let's not dream too early. Anything can happen in this race. But we are now going to cut on to lap 10. We're going to go, we've set a purple first sector, which is not surprising because we are on softer tyres and rich mix, because we've saved up fuel from when we are on the softer tyres, so we can quite possibly become the fastest car on the circuit, and it looks to be that way. We've got the gap to 15 seconds to Hamilton, because now we're going to start pushing even harder on these tyres. They've only got the last 5 laps, so we should be able to make it to the end of the race without another pit stop. That's hoping we don't clatter any boards or go into the barriers. So our second sector, that's also purple, so we are looking to go fastest, and still trying to pull out the gap. So we're using maximum revs now. I mean, going right up to the top blue light. I was about to say red line, but it's actually the blue line or something, I'm not sure. We've got the gap to 17 seconds. As we come through over the start finish line, we go faster by more than a second over our previous personal best time, which was the previous fastest lap. So that just gives an indication of how fast we can actually go on the soft tyres. So confirmation of 1:36.3 from us, and the gap is 18.2 seconds, so we really are pulling away. But we're going to cut onto the final lap now, because nothing really went on. We managed to pull out the gap to Hamilton even more. It's about 30 seconds. But we come through the final corner, and there's nothing that can stop us now, because we are going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Great win. We really weren't expecting that.
Thank you, engineer. Yes, that is our first win of the season, and it's a British top 2, to be honest. Sebastian Vettel in 3rd place. I'm not sure when that happened, because I thought Rosberg would have come 3rd. Alonso there in 18th, DNFing. I think me, him and the team need to have a little pep talk about his recent performance. So, our top 3 is me, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, who somehow got past Nico Rosberg. Like I said, I'm not sure how that happened. I think Rosberg may have had a problem with his ERS. I'm not sure, or maybe he just made a simple mistake. But I think that mistake was enough to cost him a podium position. In the Drivers' Championship, we moved back up to 4th position with that, with those 25 points we got for the win, and we are 24 points away from Hamilton and the championship lead. So that's less than a win. Alonso is the first of the non-point scorers, so me and him really need to have a pep talk about his performance. But we will get to that a little later. And well, to be honest, let's just celebrate. We have our first win of the season for McLaren Honda. I mean, that is just something. But anyway, guys, I will leave you to the celebrations. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Thank you so very much for watching. Goodbye.